Good Lord, feels like Antarctica in here. Turn on some heat. Wow, it really is cold in here. If you want to start heating your shop efficiently, you should start using kerosene. No, you should definitely use diesel if you want to heat your shop efficiently. What, did you fall off the turnip truck last night? Kerosene is definitely the way to go for efficiency. Did you get kicked in the head by a mule? Diesel is definitely better. If that's why one of the cars, diesel's the way to go. You can't beat the efficiency. Kerosene's safer and burns cleaner. You're wrong. Just brained up. That's rather like kerosene is the way. No, diesel's better, you old fool.
Hey guys, welcome back to RevRender Garage. If you're new, thanks for stopping by. Check out the other videos. We got lots of great content, and every Saturday we release a new video. But today, we're gonna talk shop heat. It's getting that time of year, it's getting cold, it makes you kind of not want to go out in the shop. So we decided to get a diesel heater and give that a try. We have picked up a Vevor diesel heater. Look at this thing. You know what? This is way smaller than I expected. It does have a 1.3 gallon external gas tank with a small mini pump that feeds it, but are you serious? Do you really think that this little teeny tiny heater is gonna heat all of this? I don't think so. So today we're going to install this heater. We'll show you how we do that, but more importantly, we want to review this and compare it to what we've been using in the shop to heat it. Now let me tell you, this little thing versus this. Yeah, let's prove that. So, before we waste any more time, we are going to start getting this installed. You're gonna wanna have a location picked out, you're gonna wanna have space around it, and you're gonna wanna have a spot where you can run an exhaust tube out.
Follow the directions.
Read the instructions. There is lots of stuff to be weary about.
And
so
we honestly thought these instructions would just be riddled with weird language, bad broken English type stuff, but they're actually really good. They're really clear, and they've got great color pictures in there.
Super straightforward, and as you can see, they give you diagrams and pictures practically on every page. They break down everything for you. One thing they do is they give you a lot of safety tips, and one of those tips is do not run this while you're charging the battery. Oh yeah, forgot to tell you, it takes a full-size battery. So it needs to be a 12 volt and it needs to be 20 amps or higher to run this. And then you just throw like a trickle charger on it when you're done. But this will last us well over 10 hours, I'm guessing, maybe even more than that. I got the high capacity one and it was only 65 bucks. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is only $116 and it comes with everything you need except the battery and the diesel fuel. So let's get busy and just start installing this thing.
All right, guys, here is our initial plan. We're not 100% sold on it yet, but we're thinking we've got a pretty good solution on how we're going to get this installed. This is pretty dead, unusable space back here. We've got some space right here where we're gonna put the heater because we have outside wall to vent it out to. Unfortunately, that doesn't give us a lot of room for our gas tank. So we're thinking the gas tank is going to mount someplace over here. There's obviously going to be a little gas line that goes through, crosses over to here to come up to the bottom of the machine there. But we're going to put the machine at about this height. That way it gives the vent pipe the perfect amount of room that it needs to vent it out. And then we're going to put a little shelf right here for the battery to sit on so it has its power. But that's our initial plan. We're going to start mocking this thing up and we'll get back with you once we get it going. Plate needs to be mounted, but we want the heater to be at an angle so it's shooting heat out more evenly into the room.
There's plenty of spots for the hole.
Yeah, trace around that at the angle you want.
So, yeah, it's actually totally nice and even.
50 degrees in here currently. Gonna be nice getting this heater hooked up and seeing how well it works. All right, I know I said earlier that these directions were really good and they were really well written. I kind of found some spots. We're trying to figure out how to put the petcock into the fuel tank because it doesn't come. You gotta drill your own hole and everything. So here's part of the directions, and tell me if this makes sense to you. Leave it in the comments if we're just dumb and we can't figure this out. Cover the fuel tank nozzle with a gasket. Fix the fuel tank nozzle with iron wire and thread it into the punching position along the fuel tank opening. What the f? Swivel the pointed pliers to remove the fuel tank nozzle. I thought we were trying to install a petcock, not remove one. Anyways, we'll get it figured out and get back.
All right, we figured out how to get the petcock in. Once we read the directions a few times, you have to feed a wire through the hole you drilled down out of the opening of this, and then you can slide that wire through the petcock. Then you can slide that wire through the petcock, bend the end over, and just pull it all the way down and out that hole. And then you just get some needle nose pliers and you can work it out of the holes until you see the threads. And now you can just tighten it up.
But trying to keep that from spinning at the same time.
Well, where's those needle nose?
They're,
all right, we'll get back to you.
Sorry. Did not mean for it to go that fast. There it goes. You lost the tip and everything.
Just the tip.
All right. Well, we got our shelf all built here for it. Didn't need to be big. It wasn't hard to do. But we've got it mounted on there. We got our steel plate on there. You saw us cutting the hole out there for the pipes to go down. Perfect fit for our battery. I'd love to say we planned that, but we didn't. But we're going to take credit for it anyways. So we've already got our fuel pump mounted down here. It's already installed to the bottom of the unit. We're just going to run a fuel line across here now, and we're going to mount our fuel tank to this wall right here. And then we will get the little air suction tube vent
Intake hose
on there, and we're going to try this thing out.
There you got one other spot to connect it. We are very close. I think that looks pretty good. Might as well keep as much wall space as possible. Oh, and then if we have that floating
Workbench?
Yeah. I guess the floating workbench could, well, I don't know how close you want it to that, but
Let's just put it like this.
okay. We're gonna get this mounted, get the last hose in place, and we will be darn ready to get this thing going.
All right, I don't know if you can see that, but we're 50 degrees in here right now, and we just fired up the heater. We've got it all installed, like I said before, and I'm just repeating myself, but we can feel it here. Pretty soon it'll start clicking, but we're gonna actually do a little heat test on this. We got it all closed up in the shop, so we're going to let this thing run and fire up, and we'll get back with you and tell you our thoughts. All right, we got this thing all hooked up, and it's actually running, and it is pumping out heat. It's not super hot yet, but it just got going. So the one thing to watch out for when you install one of these is you need to make sure that you pre-prime your line here. Now again, we're gonna do something with this line. There's too much on there, we'll trim it down. Before we mounted this to the wall, I stuck my mouth on there and blew with the cap off and pushed fuel all the way down this line right here. Because the directions say if you don't do that, it will be up to 30 minutes for you to keep running these cycles. And we had to run the fuel pump cycle about 3 times before it finally ignited the glow plug in there.
Yeah, it just kept sucking the air out first.
So it was getting all the air out of the line, which is nice because you can see that process. But it's 2:30 p.m. right now, and it's 50 degrees in the shop. We're gonna give you guys an idea of how quickly and if this thing even works. So stick around to the end of the video, find out our final results and if we think you would benefit from this. All right, guys, we've had this thing running for about 15 minutes now. Not gonna lie, I'm getting my hopes up. This thing seems to be working pretty well right now. One of my biggest questions is how long is that 1.3 gallon tank going to last before having to refill it? Because remember, the whole idea of this video right here, is this an inexpensive way to heat your shop versus say kerosene, which is $15 a gallon. Diesel fuel is in between $5 and $6 depending on where you live. anyways, we will be back with you and give you some more results here shortly.
Man, I am super excited. This thing, I forgot all about it, but it actually has an app to allow you to control it. I've got control of how hot it will get, how much the fan is running. I can set temperature offsets. I can give it a nickname, but it's all Bluetooth enabled. So what I'm thinking is if I can connect to this from the house up there, I can have this place heated by the time I'm done feeding the dog and getting my coffee. So let's go check it out. All right, this is where I feed my dog. This is where I get my coffee. You can see the shop right there. So I'm gonna open this app and see if we can connect via Bluetooth, and if we can. So I'm opening up the app. You can see I've added my device on here. It says it's trying to connect, and it looks like we did. Even shows that it's on. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna adjust the power level down a little bit.
Let's see if you can turn it off.
Oh, it's telling me the device is offline. Let's walk out the door here. Hi, buddy.
Good dog.
It says it's connecting. It flashed offline, but now it says it's online.
And it said live, right?
Now it shows offline. Room temp shows 62.6.
Well, oh, there it is.
Okay.
There we go. Now the buttons are lit up. So now, okay.
It's not a solid connection because it keeps losing it, but we are able to actually connect from up here, and we just adjusted the level down to 9, so we're going to go down and verify that it's on 9 down there.
And it also comes with a wireless keychain remote, so that may work from up here as well. We don't know that yet. We haven't tried. We'll try it. Use your phone and click it to power 10. Well, here's all we got to do. Yeah, it was on 9. So yes, that did work. We also made a little mark with a Sharpie right there on the fuel tank, just to kind of gauge, you know, how quickly are you going to blow through 1.3 gallons of diesel fuel. And 1.3 gallons of diesel fuel is probably about $7. Keeping in mind that a gallon of kerosene is $15 a gallon. So this is already look like it's going to be an extremely less expensive option to heat the shop. The only fuel is what it's used so far and what we use to prime the line. I know it's hard for you guys to see this, but oh man, we're at like 57 degrees already.
That's 7 degrees in 30 minutes. That's badass.
I'd call that a win, man. But stick around, it could still fail.
But I gotta tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you. Kerosene Heater did a pretty good job of heating this place up. It got fairly comfortable in about an hour and 15 minutes or so. But it's just, they rape you for kerosene fuel prices.
Well, the other big difference, that has a blower fan that is pumping that out into the room, whereas the kerosene heater is radiant heat. You gotta wait till the metal gets hot and then it just starts radiating the heat out.
And this is pushing it to the floor, which is the best way to do it because then it raises up.
So, I mean, this is not a small area to heat up. And if you look at the ceilings, yes, everything's insulated.
And even over the shop, it's got to
But
fill that with hot.
It's technically all vaulted. So the other thing that we were gonna do is actually take some like heavy visqueen and put it all down, staple it to the rafter up there, let it hang down here to keep the heat more in here and not above the office.
"30 seconds, folks. Don't be dumb. Go to Amazon right now, click on the link below in our description, and get yourself one of these.
And notice where it's placed?
Right there. Don't be dumb.
All right, guys, as you can see, we put our thermometer as far away as we could from the heater. Now, when you're standing over there, obviously it feels a little bit warmer, but we have been running this thing for exactly an hour now, and it is almost 60 degrees in here. I'd say 59 and a half. So almost 10 degrees in an hour, and the amount of fuel we've used is hardly anything. And it's so quiet. It's running right now. Like, and it's just a light low hum in the background. But man, I will tell you, so far, I think this is a win. But I know Sean's gonna try it out for the week so we can compare it to the kerosene, give you all the numbers, what we think is more efficient, so hopefully you guys can make the right decision when it comes to heating your shop.
Hey guys, we are back after 9 days of testing our new shop diesel heater. And the idea was to compare it to kerosene heat. This is my old kerosene heater. This right now on Amazon will cost you $250, with tax about $275. This right now on Amazon, $116, it'll cost you about $125. Here's where it gets really interesting. This will give you 10 hours of use off 1 gallon of diesel. This will give you 6 hours of use off of 1 gallon of kerosene. But you want to break this down, here's where it gets even cooler. Kerosene is $15 a gallon. Diesel is about $5 a gallon. So when you do the math, $2.50 an hour to run that. This, 1/5 the price, 50 cents per hour to run the diesel heater. Both of them will heat my shop pretty much the same. They both work very well to heat the shop, but it's so much more cost effective to go with this diesel heater. Now, I did have to buy a battery, which was $65, but it still puts me way under the cost of this. And the other thing is, you can buy a converter for this and plug it in the wall. But I'm planning on putting another one in my shop because my shop is so big. And we did some research and found ones with the fuel tank built in, as well as you plug it into a standard wall outlet. So I think the next one I go with is going to be one you can just plug into a standard wall outlet. That avoids the cost of the battery or the cost of the converter. And you can get one of these for about 150 bucks. So as far as I'm concerned, diesel for the win. So with that, I hope you can see why we did this and see how much money you can save. With all those facts out of the way, and now you being smarter, I'm going to say, RevRender out.
As always, thanks for watching. Tune in every Saturday for a new video. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Those likes really help us out with the YouTube algorithm. Until next time, RevRender out.